Have you ever wondered why certain attitudes push women away without you even noticing? Are you sure you're not making mistakes that ruin your relationships without knowing it? Today I'll reveal 9 things a man should not do with a woman if he wants to maintain her respect, attraction, and connection. Stick around until the end. Number 7 might change everything. Thing number 1. Do you always try to look good, even if that means betraying yourself? Many men make the mistake of saying yes to everything just to please a woman. They believe being agreeable will make them appear kinder, more attractive, or even more masculine. But what they actually project is a lack of character. When you don't have your own opinion, avoid conflict at all costs, and always give in. You're not being kind, you're being invisible. Women value men with firm convictions, capable of saying no when something doesn't align with them, without fear of disappointing. That doesn't mean being rude or imposing your will, but having identity, judgment, and boundaries. A woman may respect and even admire your firmness, but she's unlikely to be attracted to someone who doesn't respect himself. Remember this: respect is earned when you first respect yourself. Don't sell your authenticity for someone else's approval. Being genuine, even if it means disagreeing or speaking your mind, will always be more powerful than pretending to fit in. Number 2. Have you ever tried to impress a woman by exaggerating or bragging? Many men fall into the trap of trying to sell themselves like a product. They speak endlessly about their achievements, money, contacts, or adventures, hoping it will generate attraction. But instead of impressing, it usually has the opposite effect: rejection. Why? Because the need to boast communicates insecurity. It's as if you are saying, "Look at me, please tell me I'm worth it." And that, instead of admiration, produces distrust and discomfort. An intelligent woman easily detects when a man is inflating his ego because he doesn't believe who he is. Just as he is enough. That isn't attractive. What is attractive is authenticity, restful confidence, the kind of security that doesn't need to be announced. Talking about your achievements isn't wrong, but do it naturally, without forcing it. Your attitude, consistency, and the way you treat her speak louder than any story you try to use as a trophy. Remember, you're not in a job interview. You're building a real connection. And for that, humility and authenticity always win. Number 3. Are you someone who feels you must be available 24/7 for her, as if your life revolved around her attention? Being always available might seem like a sign of love or interest, but more often than not, it communicates desperation or emotional dependency. When a man puts aside his priorities, passions, or even his friends just to be with a woman whenever she asks, he loses value in her eyes. Why? Because part of what generates attraction is mystery, individuality, and having your own life that excites you. If she feels you have nothing better to do than wait for her message, she will lose interest over time. This isn't about ignoring her or playing sexual mind games. It's about having a rich, purposeful life in which she fits, but doesn't dominate. That communicates security, maturity, and self-worth. A woman will feel much more attracted to a man who has goals, respects his time, and includes her without losing himself. Being present is good, but being available all the time, not always. Remember, someone who values himself is not handed away. Number 4. Do you find it hard to express what you feel for fear of appearing weak? Many men grow up in environments where showing emotions is equated with weakness. From a young age, they are taught to be tough, stoic, and unemotional, believing that vulnerability makes them less of a man. As a result, instead of openly sharing their feelings, many men shut down emotionally, retreat into silence, or mask their true emotions with sarcasm or detachment. However, this emotional barrier, intended as protection, often has the opposite effect. It alienates those closest to them. Women, in particular, seek genuine emotional connection, not an impenetrable wall. Emotional honesty is essential for building deep bonds, and when a man cannot express his feelings, whether it's joy, confusion, frustration, or love, the relationship is relegated to surface-level interactions. Avoiding vulnerability may seem like a safe option, but it slowly erodes intimacy and trust. It's important to recognize that showing vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but rather a mark of maturity and courage. True strength lies in the ability to express feelings honestly and authentically without falling into melodrama or oversharing. When something bothers you, communicate it calmly. If you're unsure about your feelings, share that uncertainty. If you truly care for her, let her know openly. Suppressing emotions only leads to resentment and emotional distance, gradually cooling even the strongest relationships. Opening your emotional world doesn't diminish your strength. It adds depth and richness to your character. For many women, this kind of emotional transparency is far more attractive than any facade of toughness or emotional detachment. Ultimately, embracing vulnerability invites genuine connection and builds a foundation of trust and intimacy that can sustain a lasting relationship. Number 5. Have you tried to control what she does, who she talks to, or how she dresses, out of love? Many men mistakenly confuse care with control, believing that monitoring their partner's actions or setting strict boundaries is a way to protect the relationship. They may check her phone, dictate who she can see, or criticize her appearance, convinced these behaviors demonstrate love or commitment. However, this kind of control is rooted in insecurity rather than affection. Trying to control a woman's behavior does not deepen her love for you. Instead, it makes her feel trapped and suffocated. Nobody wants to be in a relationship where every move is scrutinized or restricted, especially a woman who values her autonomy and self-respect. A healthy, mature relationship is founded on trust, not surveillance. If you struggle to trust her, the real issue lies within your own fears and insecurities, not her actions. Genuine love respects the freedom and individuality of each partner. It does not impose demands, restrictions, or ultimatums to feel secure. Moreover, controlling behavior damages the relationship over time, breeding resentment and fostering a toxic atmosphere. The pressure to escape can become so intense that she may rebel in ways you fear most, driven by the desire to regain her independence. Before trying to dictate her choices, pause and reflect. Are you acting out of genuine love or fear? If it's fear, then the focus should be on personal growth and healing, rather than on controlling her. Remember, true love is not about confinement. It's about choosing to stay together freely and respectfully, creating a partnership where both individuals feel valued, trusted, and free to be themselves. Number 6. Does her having her own life bother you? And do you struggle with the idea that not everything revolves around you? One of the most common mistakes many men make in relationships is expecting their partner to put aside her own interests, friendships, and personal goals to focus solely on them. This expectation often stems from insecurity or a need for control, but it can lead to frustration and tension when the woman continues to maintain her own life. Sometimes, this frustration manifests as passive-aggressive comments, emotional manipulation, or subtle attempts to guilt her into spending more time with you. However, it's crucial to understand an uncomfortable truth. A woman is not responsible for filling your emotional void or making you feel whole. She has her own world full of passions, ambitions, friendships, and responsibilities. This independence is healthy and essential for a balanced life. Expecting her to abandon everything that defines her for your sake isn't romantic. It's selfish and unfair. Genuine love respects individuality and encourages growth, rather than possession or control. The healthiest relationships involve two complete individuals who choose to share their lives without losing their sense of self. When a man tries to monopolize a woman's time and energy, he risks suffocating the relationship and pushing her away. What's truly attractive is a man who supports his partner's independence, celebrates her freedom, and maintains his own interests and goals. This dynamic of two whole, independent people choosing each other voluntarily creates a strong foundation for lasting connection. Instead of viewing her independence as a threat or competition, learn to embrace and coexist with it. Remember, if she wants you in her life, she won't feel the need to leave her own behind. This mutual respect for individuality strengthens trust, deepens emotional bonds, and creates space for both partners to thrive. Appreciating your partner's life outside the relationship shows confidence, maturity, and genuine love, and it's a cornerstone of healthy, balanced partnerships. Number 7. Do you think indifference is a way to capture her attention? Many men fall into the misconception that playing hard to get or showing indifference will make a woman more interested or attracted to them. They believe that ignoring her messages, being emotionally distant, or acting uninterested will somehow spark her curiosity or desire. However, this approach rarely works as intended and often backfires. Indifference doesn't create attraction. Instead, it causes confusion, frustration, and emotional distancing. When you act as if you don't care about her or the relationship, you send mixed signals that can tire her emotionally or make her question your sincerity. Women generally value clarity, emotional honesty, and open communication over manipulative games or power plays. Indifference can be easily interpreted as a lack of genuine interest or commitment, prompting her to pull away or seek emotional connection elsewhere. If your goal is to have her value you and want to be closer, the best strategy is to show authentic interest without becoming clingy or dependent. Being genuine and expressing your feelings with respect creates a stronger, more meaningful connection than any game ever could. Trust and attraction are built on openness, honesty, and mutual respect, not on silence, aloofness, or emotional manipulation. Rather than trying to spark desire through distance or coldness, focus on fostering communication that encourages emotional closeness and understanding. Remember, healthy attraction stems from respect and truth, not artificial mystery or tactics designed to confuse or control. When you engage sincerely, you create an environment where both partners feel valued and connected, laying the groundwork for a relationship built to last. Number 8. Do you think putting her on a pedestal is actually hurting your relationship? Out of fear of losing her, many men fall into the trap of idealizing a woman, treating her as flawless, untouchable, or somehow beyond criticism. They avoid expressing discomfort, voicing concerns, or offering honest feedback, thinking that doing so might drive her away. But ironically, this fear-driven approach often creates distance rather than closeness. When you treat her like she's perfect, you stop being honest, not just with her, but with yourself. You begin to filter your thoughts, walk on eggshells, and hide your true reactions. Over time, this builds frustration and leads to shallow, inauthentic communication. And while you may believe you're protecting the relationship, you're actually creating an emotional wall between you. No one is perfect, and pretending someone is does them a disservice. Healthy relationships are based on seeing each other fully, strengths, flaws, habits, quirks, and all. Valuing her doesn't mean you have to agree with everything she says or does. It means being able to communicate openly and respectfully, even when something bothers you or needs to change. The difference lies in your approach. You're not attacking or criticizing her. You're sharing your truth from a place of care and honesty. That kind of vulnerability builds real intimacy. When a woman sees that you're able to be both loving and sincere, she's more likely to feel safe, understood, and connected to you. If you hold her to an impossible standard, she may start to feel pressured, objectified, or unseen for who she really is. But when you show her that you accept her completely, including her imperfections, you create a space for true closeness and mutual growth. Remember, real love doesn't mean ignoring flaws. It means facing them together with honesty, respect, and authenticity. That's what makes a relationship thrive. Number 9. Do you believe that ignoring her opinions makes you a stronger leader in the relationship? One of the most damaging mistakes a man can make is underestimating the value of a woman's voice in the relationship. Assuming that your ideas always carry more weight, or that you alone should make the important decisions, doesn't make you a stronger partner. It creates imbalance, frustration, and emotional distance. A healthy relationship is not a hierarchy. It's a team effort based on mutual respect, shared input, and active listening. When you dismiss her thoughts, needs, or suggestions, you're sending the message that she's not truly part of the equation, just a spectator. Over time, this can erode trust and lead her to feel unappreciated or even silenced. This doesn't mean you must agree with her on everything or hand over all decision-making power. Rather, it means recognizing that her insights are valuable and that collaboration leads to better, more balanced choices. Opening space for her voice shows maturity, humility, and emotional intelligence, qualities far more attractive and powerful than control. True leadership in a relationship isn't about dominance. It's about creating an environment where both partners feel seen, heard, and involved. When she feels like an equal, the emotional bond deepens and the connection strengthens. Never underestimate how impactful it is to simply ask, "What do you think?" or "How do you feel about this?" Small gestures of inclusion go a long way in building a relationship rooted in trust, respect, and genuine partnership. In the end, ignoring her voice doesn't make you more of a man. It just limits what the two of you could become together. Empowering her doesn't diminish your role. It elevates both of you. And there you have it. The 9 things a man must avoid if he truly wants to build a healthy, respectful, and connected relationship. Remember that respect, communication, and authenticity are the keys for love to truly grow. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like to support the content and help others avoid these mistakes. Also, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss upcoming advice that will help you improve your relationships and personal growth. And finally, leave me a comment telling me which of these 9 things has happened to you the most, or which one surprised you. I'd love to read and discuss with you. See you in the next video.